Brother, what?
Where did that come from?
Anything is better than that. Generic control into Dr. Gizmo here, back with another kill count reaction. Today we're doing Halloween H20, which is Halloween 20 years later, terrible naming scheme, and Halloween Resurrection, which I believe is movie 7 and 8 in the grand scheme of the Halloween movies. I believe James did the first 10, and then in the last 6 years or so, they've added some new movies to that. Last week we did Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. You can check a reaction to those. I'll leave it right up there. Also, link down below in the description. Also in a place on my channel with all my other kill count reactions. Going in chronological order. If you go to binge watch all of them, a lot of people are telling me that I should do the comparisons, which he started in the last one, and I'm not really sure if I should start with this one. I'm trying to get caught up on the kill counts because it comes out with like 1 a week, and I've been doing like 2 a week, so kill count's gonna be on the channel for a very, very long time, which is great because I love James. I love this. I love learning about movies I've never even heard of before, and it's been a great time. So I'm not really sure if maybe I should, I don't know, maybe I'll do another video a week. Maybe do another kill count video per week of the cut comparisons. I don't really know. Let me know. Or should I just do like Halloween 2.0 and or Halloween H20 and then also do the comparison with that, because I can't do all of them in one because that'd be way too much. I'm not really sure. Let me know. I do read our comments, leave them down below. Also, I hope you're subscribed. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. We're on track to get it like on New Year's Eve. Like, it is so close. So if you're not already subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I should be streaming some Devil May Cry 5 today, first playthrough. I think I'm like halfway through the game. I'm loving it so far. Well, I'm excited to jump into this kill count. Hope you are as well. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Also, I talked about cut comparisons. I gotta make sure I say that correctly so YouTube doesn't think I'm saying a different word.
I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Halloween H20.
I talked about it in the intro. Go back and let me know. I do read all your comments.
Although H20 came out just 3 years after Curse of Michael Myers, it feels like a movie from an entirely different era, probably because it was. By this point, Scream had been released, and as I'm sure you're all sick of hearing me say, it completely changed the genre. Interestingly, the screenwriter of Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, Kevin Williamson, was a co-EP on H20 and wrote an early draft of the screenplay. In Williamson's original draft, though, H20 acknowledged all the previous films. That all changed when Jamie Lee Curtis signed on to the project. Curtis's return as Laurie Strode was a huge selling point for H20, and is probably what kept it from being a direct-to-video release. Because the franchise had gotten increasingly complicated, silly, and less lucrative.
Yeah, the last couple movies were.
Curtis and director Steve Miner, who had helmed the first 2 Friday the 13th sequels 16 years earlier, decided to make H20 a direct sequel to Halloween 2. It would be the real Halloween 3, as they described it, and thus we get our first split in the Michael Myers timeline.
Was it good?
H20 parts 4, 5, and 6 never happened, and Laurie Strode's daughter Jamie never existed. Sucks for that character and anyone who loved all the Thorn stuff. I'm sure there are dozens of you. But damn, is H20 a refreshing entry to the series. It's back to basics yet again, but this time with a healthy dose of humor. And because of Scream's influence, not only are the characters hip with quips, but there's also a healthy dose of meta, not only to previous Halloween films, but also to the horror genre as a whole. I'll admit the humor and meta stuff can be a little much sometimes, but come on, man, at least it's better than this.
Yeah, anything is better than that.
Sadly, with Donald Pleasence's passing, this would be the first Michael Myers film without Sam Loomis in Hot Pursuit. But to be fair, it is hard to imagine how the crazy doctor would fit in with a film that takes place on the campus of a California boarding school. Can Michael score more kills without Looney Loomis chasing after him?
Yes.
Let's find out and get to that.
Absolutely will. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with comparisons.
The movie
do I like? I gotta make. I'm saying cut. By the way, YouTube.
To remind viewers that this movie is a direct sequel to Halloween 2. So yeah, just keep in mind, in this movie, Laurie and Michael are still siblings, but that's not the case in the new film coming out later this month.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
Oh, with the scar.
It's not her brother.
This is a trailer.
People made up.
That movie's a direct sequel to the original film only. It's confusing, I know.
Only? What do you mean only?
Visit Langdon, Illinois,
to the original, like that's the second one.
Chimney Stack nurse
Another
Marion
split.
Chambers makes her return to the series. It's great because she's played by the same actor from Halloween's 1 and 2, Nancy Stevens. Today, though, she's running into some trouble. Apparently, her house has been broken into. She enlists the help of 2 teenage hockey fans, her neighbor Jimmy, played by a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and his buddy Tony, a big fan of the Surgeon General.
Hasn't anyone told you? Secondhand smoke kills.
Also smoking indoors.
After calling the cops, Jimmy heads over to check out Marion's house for himself, using the immortal powers of youth. All he ends up doing, though, is stealing some beers and accidentally getting spooked.
Is that a rolling rock?
The drying rack with his hockey stick. Yo, ref, you gonna call Slash in there or what? He comes outside to tell Ms. Chambers
or would that be a high stick?
Okay, and in the process, gives us a taste of the humor in this movie that, in my opinion, usually works.
I am a hockey fan.
And also, they messed up your kitchen really bad too. Yeah.
Good night.
Did they not
Better
hear
than
that?
Barry kicks ass. Nurse Chambers' office is wrecked, with a picture of Sam Loomis knocked down and the files from her Laurie Strode folder.
That's a good
missing.
ode
That
to the
very
actor.
specific burglaring is enough to send her running next door again, because she ain't putting up with no boogeyman bullshit. When she gets to Jimmy's house, though, she finds him dead in a lazy boy with an ice skate lodged deep into his face. Come on, ref, if that ain't a slashing penalty, I don't know what is. Marion runs through Jimmy's house of horrors, only to find another corpse in the form of Tony, whose dead body
with a hockey
somehow
stick
standing upright.
Oh, I thought he had the hockey stick in him.
Knife in his back. I always think it's kind of dumb when horror movies have bodies act like haunted house props. But maybe Michael was just holding the body up himself, because don't look now, but horror he coming. He rearms himself with a knife right as some cops arrive outside, and even though Marion fights back with a fire poker, she's unable to get the attention of the cops who are checking out her house next door, despite her.
Is she not screaming? Why can it?
Ouch.
Oh!
Slit takes out a legacy Halloween character, but at least she was a fighter to the end. And let's be real, if Michael hadn't gotten her, all those cigarettes probably would have eventually anyway.
Most likely,
yeah. Insult to injury, Michael once again steals Marion Chambers' car to make his escape. The crime scene is investigated by Detective Exposition, who says that
so since when do cops park in the driveway?
House under Marion's care until his natural death some time ago. They go into Loomis's
Dude
old
died
office,
of natural causes in Friday the 13th.
Ever since Michael Myers' body
it's not Friday the 13th. This is Halloween.
Hospital fire 20 years ago. Speaking of which, now's a good time
Friday the
for
13th is the day this video is going to the patrons.
An opening credits sequence plays out over B-roll of all the stuff in Loomis's study, as voice actor Tom Kane recites Donald Pleasance's speech about Michael Myers from the first film.
I met this 6-year-old child with the blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
He does a pretty decent Loomis, and fun fact, Tom Kane also played Darwin in The Wild Thornberrys alongside Danielle Harris, who voiced older sister Deborah. The more
what
you
is
know.
that?
Let's
what
get out of
Wild
Bradenton
Thornberrys?
and head home to Haddonfield. Nope, sorry, Summer
Kind of looks like the Desperado Ranch.
Hillcrest Academy High School, where it's everyone's favorite holiday. Halloween!
Yeah, this video's coming out on Saturday the 14th.
Under the alias Carrie Tate, with her 17-year-old son John, played by introducing Josh Hartnett. Although they both seem like pretty cool people, they butt heads because she's overprotective, especially around this time of year. Probably because she keeps having visions of Michael all the time. Because of her paranoia, she's not letting John go on a school trip to Yosemite with the rest of his classmates that weekend. But lucky for him, various factors have made it so his girlfriend Molly, played by Michelle Williams, and their friends Sarah and Charlie aren't going either. So they'll all be staying back on campus together.
The whole place will be empty. We'd have the run of it. We could have a roaming orgy.
What?
Man thinks.
As headmistress of this expensive-ass boarding school, Carrie Tate tells the rest of the student body to behave themselves in Yosemite, no panky, hanky, or otherwise, before sneaking into her office to make out with Alan Arkin's son. Adam Arkin plays Will, the school's guidance counselor, but his counsel ain't the only thing Laurie's been guided, if you get my meaning. Later on, they have a lunch date in town where she's unable to bring herself to tell him about her Haddonfield history. Oh well, if you can't get over your tragic past, might as well chug, chug, chug. Keeping Laurie's staff and students safe at Hillcrest is security guard Ronnie, played by LL Cool J.
Just one dude?
And he's also an aspiring smut writer.
Leading to tumultuous, round, melon breasts.
I hate...
Yeah, his wife's not exactly
I started reading like the first 80 pages of Her Soul for Revenge, which is
John and Charlie sneak off campus so they can plan a
that kind of book.
weekend with their ladies. Why you ain't following those LL rules, Jay? In town, John and his high school me-looking friend shoplift a bottle of booze from a nearby liquor store, way to hurt the local economy.
Yeah.
And on their way back to Hillcrest, they get cornered by Laurie, who yells at them because they're not supposed to be off campus at all. And on Halloween day, Laurie Strode ain't got no chill.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
John yells back at her and tells her that Michael Myers is dead. Get the fuck over it, Mom.
He's not.
Sadly, John doesn't know how wrong he is. We check back in on Michael in Northern California.
I thought it said
where a mom is
Northern
taking her daughter
Carolina.
to a rest stop to pee. Functionally, this scene
That's
is
a
just
weird
here
rest
so
stop.
Michael can trade Marion Chambers' messed up ride for this lady's weirdly old-fashioned whip. But stylistically, it's a really good scene of tension and suspense, especially the way it uses the mother's point of view and how fearful she is for her daughter as a scary stranger steals her purse. I think it's a great example of why H20 is a solid sequel, even if you're not a fan of the Kevin Williamson-like dialogue. Michael drives that shitty rust bucket to Hillcrest to scope out the security system.
Nobody notices
That's
this?
for Laurie, because even someone with two eyes shot out could see that Ronnie is just an LL Fool J. Don't worry, Ronnie, that verbal
Is he
flogging
just
you're
one
getting
guard?
is totally worth it in the name of love. Because you helped Big John set up the perfect basement date for Molly. This
that's
place
cute.
looks like somewhere I'd play poker in high school. Not take my girlfriend to get a handy, but whatever works, I guess. As Laura Carey teaches her class
it's a
about
boarding school. They don't have much
Molly
options.
repeats a beat from the original when she sees Michael out the window. When Laurie calls on her and breaks Molly's concentration,
he's gone.
She's still able to do the final girl thing and answer the question correctly, delivering a thematic message about confronting the monster that leaves her teacher frozen still until the bell rings. As the other students leave, Laurie thinks that she's doing her son a favor when she calls him over and gives him a permission slip for the Yosemite trip. But it's too late for good parenting, Care Bear. This kid's got a roaming orgy plan. An updated version of the classic theme plays as all the other kids board their school buses and leave.
Is that really what school buses used to look like?
Now
that looks like a
good and underpopulated for the slasher ahead.
Like,
Before
it'll
we get
deliver
to the night's
packages.
affairs, though, we've got to have a metatextual moment with Laurie's secretary Norma, played by her real-life mom, Janet Leigh.
Nice.
Be maternal for a moment.
For extra fun,
Clearly.
the scene even starts with a quote from the original Halloween.
It's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Janet Leigh, of course, played the infamous psycho shower victim, Marion Crane, who, yes, the nurse from these movies was named after. Horror's a very incestuous genre. Norma wishes Carrie well and then heads off to trade in her Ford mainline as echoes of the Psycho score play.
Wait, really?
Oh,
Psycho?
Miss Kate, happy Halloween.
Sure, it's super meta, but I enjoyed this scene as an homage to one of the greats. That night, Ronnie finds Michael's stolen truck smoking outside the school gates, and since this is a smoke-free campus,
oh no, LL Cool J is gonna get LL Kill Jade.
A real LL Ghoul J sneaks behind it, and now the campus's security has officially been breached.
Why is he just looking at him like that?
That was a real dumb character moment, and the only purpose was to get Michael inside the school. Pretty lazy. In any case, he's there now, and Laurie sees him as she's closing up shop for the night. We get one of those ambiguous, was that just an illusion or was he really there?
Do not keep your eyes shut for that long.
Whoa. Instead, but after she leaves, Will does in fact spot Michael over there. So yeah, he's definitely walking around. And now if you'll excuse me, I'd like to nitpick like a real big nerd. Consider this scene.
Do you want to die tonight, Cece?
Yes, that's a clip from Scream 2. Seems like a fine thing for these high school girls to be watching, right? But wait a minute, what if they had done a double feature that night and watched the original Scream before the sequel? You know what they would have seen?
Watch out, Jamie, you know he's around.
Jamie.
What?
Jamie, look behind you. Behind you. Jamie,
what, to look behind?
Oh. Yeah, dude, they would have seen Malibu's Most Wanted watching a scene with her headmistress in a movie that's still canon in this time. Again,
actor.
It's nitpicky, but it also like blows up the fabric of space-time in this universe, so
kind of great.
always bugged me a little bit. Whatever.
Nah,
That's
it shouldn't bug, it's fine.
The craziest thing in this scene, because it has this exchange.
Care to join us?
I can't. I'm having my nipples pierced.
Oh.
I know
Brother, what?
This movie doesn't work for everyone, but I think the
Where did that come from?
Is enough for me to enjoy it. The teens are having a real fire hazardous evening.
That's a lot of candles.
A romantic meal to get them in the mood, consisting of school cafeteria leftovers. Meanwhile, Laurie and Will skip the foreplay and get straight to lip smacking. Laurie puts the lovemaking on hold to finally tell Will about her past, and here we get some lines that I'm not such a big fan of.
My brother killed my sister when she was 17.
Well, that's sucky.
Yo, dude, take her seriously.
Do we just talk about that right now?
He does eventually, and when he asks how old she was when everything went down, Laurie freaks out because she realizes that she was the same age then that John is now. In his bedroom, she finds his Yosemite bag as evidence that he never actually left campus, and that's enough cause for her to pull out a Loomis-style handgun from under her pillow and spring into action.
Okay,
Charlie and Sarah are having a real Crispin Glover problem tonight. They've got a bottle of booze but no corkscrew. A fast thinker, Charlie hops
I'm already
into the
thinking about the
dumbwaiter to go
wine
to
glasses
upstairs
breaking.
kitchen and
My
look
wine
for one
glasses are
there.
super
It's like
fragile.
an updated version of Part 5's laundry chute mechanic. I like it. But before Charlie
Except
can
no one's in
"Dad,
danger."
Where the hell's the corkscrew? A shape appears behind him. And sadly, this shape has a CGI mask? What? Yeah, dude, it had to do with reshoots and shit, but wow.
Why?
He looks like he wandered out of a scanner darkly. Cell-shaded or not, Mike still manages to kill Charlie, since Sarah finds his corpse in the dumbwaiter with his throat slit pretty friggin' deep there.
Oh.
Obviously done with a jagged corkscrew instead of a standard chef's knife. Michael appears in a doorway.
Standard.
In an effort to escape him, Sarah snuggles up to her dead boyfriend and rides the dumbwaiter up, giving
terrifying.
Michael a chance to repeat a shot from Part 5. As she's climbing
And
out upstairs,
stab through.
though, Michael cuts the pulley system out from the dumbwaiter, causing it to
she gonna
fall
get pulled?
and crush her leg.
Oh!
Having that boy real bad. Quick thing.
Oh,
about
no!
Mike, with her movement
Also,
bar,
why would the
Sarah's
dumbwaiter be
unable
that
to
heavy?
run away
Or maybe
from
it's the
Michael when he
counterweights.
comes upstairs, and he kills her as she pleads for her life with at least 4 stabs to the back using his standard murder
That's a
knife.
terrible
Although
way.
the kill is mostly off screen, we do get to see a body shortly when John and Molly open the pantry to find Sarah's corpse corpse strung up like Casey Becker. Her inside's on the outside. John and
That's
Molly
not where they're
look
supposed
over
to go.
see Michael doing his
Looks
head
fatal.
tilt thing, so they get the heck out of there. But Michael catches up and almost sticks Molly with his knife before John stops him. For that white
'cause she's
knighting,
final
John
girl.
gets a knife in the leg, but Molly stops Michael with a rock, and the teen lovers
rock?
manage to get away. Of course,
not
without
just a boulder.
bothering to double tap the guy trying to kill them. As in many Halloween films, they find themselves
Hopefully it
stuck
didn't hit
behind a
artery,
locked door
his
as the
leg.
shape approaches. Michael slashes at them through a gate for a while before grabbing the keys Molly dropped to get inside. But before he can find the right one, John and Molly are saved by Laurie, who shares an iconic shot with Michael through
Face
this
to face.
porthole window. I mean, this shit was literally in every trailer. It's the definitive shot of this movie. But as she's getting her gun
I've
out
never
to
seen
kill
another
him, Michael plays an old standard and disappears from sight.
What
Laurie puts her
caliber
son and
is
his
that?
girlfriend in a
Probably
closet
like a
and tells them
357.
sternly to stay put.
Do as I say now!
Sounds like a plan, Laurie, but too bad you've got Trigger Happy Will with you to take your gun away and
No.
shoot at what he thinks to be the shape. Turns out it was just Ronnie, though. You're lucky this ain't the age of social media, Will, or else your ass would be a hashtag right now.
Yeah,
but
he would
instead
be.
of hash, his ass is grass.
And
Here comes Lawnmower
behind you.
Michael
How'd you
and
not
stab
hear him
Will in the
stand-
back with
walk
his
up?
knife. Michael kills
These are
Will by
wooden
lifting him
floors.
up off the
They
ground
make
as
noise.
Laurie runs away, kind of echoing the Part 2 Nurse Karen kill. Man, Michael's got fewer moves to him than a friggin' Soul Calibur character. Laurie gets the kids and they all run off.
I mean, I'm not
as
familiar with
Michael
Soul Calibur,
does what
but
Michael does, slowly chasing after them. The ladies
fact that
load the injured John
he
into
does-
an SUV.
Yeah, I guess
as
he's killed a lot of
Michael stalks
people.
after them in a scene where his mask keeps alternating between the two different versions they use during shoots. They manage to get away, but when they reach the gate, Laurie tells the kids to carry on without her, while quoting
Why?
even more dialogue from the
Why?
original.
What's the
Going
purpose?
to drive down the street to the Beckers. It's a mile down the road. Tell them to call an ambulance and get the police. No, we're not leaving. Do as I say now!
You already referenced that line, though. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
The original had a bunch of dialogue we all know, but we don't need to hear every last bit of it regurgitated. Regardless
Why
of the
are you-
repetition, the kids do as she says, and they
Why?
leave Laurie alone on campus so she can axe herself up like a boy going to his first middle school dance. With our final act all set up, Laurie heads back to the school to confront her murderous brother. Michael eventually shows up with a real sweet negative one-armed pull-up.
That's
to get
actually
behind Laurie
wild.
So they can
That's
have a
very
slash
tough.
off. We'll call round 1 a draw, but Laurie takes round 2 with a flagpole to the chest.
That's
Round 3
creative.
is in the kitchen, where Laurie misses a bunch of knife tosses at Michael.
You can't
but
miss that many.
Successfully defends against his own retaliatory strike. We are deep in Final Girl Circuit territory at this point, and
Yeah.
you all know the words to this song. The cool thing here is just how much of a fighter Laurie is, as she
Dude, why did he
eventually
just
stabs
miss?
Michael a ton of times in the chest and knocks him over a second-story balcony.
And he's gonna be
crash through
gone.
a table below. Unfortunately, when she goes down there to
And
finish him off for
McStab.
good, she's interrupted by a still-living Ronnie.
Why?
What? Survived a gunshot
Why?
to the head? LL Cool
Was it
J
to the
was
head?
a damn good agent. Emergency vehicles show up, and Michael gets put in a body bag. But if you think that's the end of this, I've
Because
got a
she
fucking
didn't-
bridge to sell.
Why didn't she-
because Laurie's
what?
not leaving this one to the authorities.
No,
and goes
no,
full Sam
no,
Loomis and
no.
to hijack
Okay,
the corner
pulling-
of the van and drive us to this movie's finale. As she speeds along the California highway, the body in the bag behind her starts
Starts
coming
moving.
back
Of
to
course.
life, just
She
as
wasn't fooled.
suspected. And after
How
he
are they
gets
gonna
out,
know?
he goes to
How's she gonna
attack
prove
her,
this?
but Laurie slams on the brakes and sends the man in the mask flying out through the windshield. She waits for him to do the standard Michael Myers
And
sit-up
then car.
before revving up the van and imitating Rachel's Part 4
The
attack
acceleration
at the
isn't
vehicular
high enough to do
homicide.
that.
So many references. The stunt sends both of them and the van all tumbling down the hill together, with the shape
He
getting
is-
the short end of the stick when the van smashes him against a fallen tree.
Oh,
Laurie recovers
he's
as the
fine.
van catches fire, but she knows better than to trust a fire to kill Michael Myers.
Yep, nope.
Fool me once.
Yeah,
know?
that
And
was
so she
the
grabs the fire
second
axe
movie?
and heads over to confront Michael. She finds him pawing at his mask in a weird way, and he even tries to reach out a hand towards her in an attempt to make peace
Nope.
or something. But
He
that
does not
shit
care.
ain't gonna work on Laurie fucking Strode, so after briefly ETing with him, she takes that axe and cuts his freaking head off.
Oh.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna count this as a half kill right
What do you mean
now,
a half
it'll
kill?
Make more sense next video, I promise.
Also an hour and
Like,
20
it's
minutes.
definitely a kill, but there's further explanation to it, so just take my
But
word right
he's
now.
gonna be back in
Needless
the
to
next
say,
one.
Though, this was a shocking way to end the movie, and in my opinion, it would have made for an excellent end to the franchise.
It
But
would've,
like all
yeah.
good horror franchises, Halloween just didn't know when to quit. Always got to be adding kills, you know? Let's
Yeah.
see how many this entry added and get to the numbers.
What why water?
That's some good H2O.
Did he reference the water boy
There were
there?
6.5 kills in Halloween
6.5?
H2O, and I promise that'll make at least a little more sense next video. The
Mm.
victims included 4.5 dudes and 2 ladies, giving us this pretty standard pie chart. And with a runtime of 86
yeah.
minutes, we wound up with a
Are they
kill on
always like
average
86
every
minutes?
12.29 minutes. I'll give the golden
That's actually
chainsaw
not a
for
lot.
the coolest kill to Jimmy. Yeah, it
The
was
boarding
done
school
off
thing
screen,
wasn't-
but it was with an ice skate. That's something kind of new. Plus, who doesn't want to see Tommy Solomon with a skate in his snarky face? Doll machete for lamest kill will go to Jimmy's buddy Tony. phony, because I hate that stupid corpse standing behind a door trope. Be better, horror movies. And that's it.
I thought it would be a hockey
H20O
stick
came
kill.
out in 1998, 20 years after
1
the
year after I
original,
was born.
and was the first Halloween sequel to make as much money as the original. That
Oh,
meant
really?
Myers Fire was hot when they cooked up Resurrection, which I'll cover next week. Until
Which,
then, I'm James.
it's gonna be in this video.
This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this week's Kill Count.
But the next one's the look-see, which we'll go back and get to those
Monica Diaz, and
after
Kobe.
we do Halloween.
Man, I'm just so thirsty after recording that Kill Count. I could just...
Yeah, been there, done that.
Whew. I gotta record another one of these right now. I'm gonna have to pee. Thanks, y'all. Pee good people. Pee good people.
Yep. Push the button. And now we have Halloween Resurrection 2002. Okay.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James H.
Why is there a
Logitech?
I want to say it's a
in 2002.
C920 or C922.
That goes from the
It's my
original
first webcam,
Halloween
actually.
2 to Halloween H20O to this one. After
don't use
this,
it anymore.
the series would rest for 5 years before getting rebooted by Rob Zombie. Halloween Resurrection is another popular contender for.
I've been to a
worst of the
Rob
series,
Zombie
which is
concert. Didn't know any of the
interesting, seeing as
songs,
how it was
but
directed by Rick Rosenthal, the same dude who helmed Halloween 2, a sequel that many people loved. And why is Resurrection so widely panned? Well, maybe it's because it negates the excellent ending the series could have had with H20O's finale. Maybe it's because, in retrospect, the film's reliance on the burgeoning world of webcams and cyberspace seems
That's
quaint.
why there's
or maybe
webcam.
it's because it features rapper Busta Rhymes as a
Somebody was
reality
asking about
TV
Busta
host and
Rhymes
karate enthusiast. All of
in the
those
comment
things
section.
and many more missteps contribute to another Halloween I wish I could just run away from. But at least it's got some decent kills.
we have a good one and a bad one. Honestly, H20 or H20 was actually pretty good.
Where Laurie Strode is hanging out, wearing another wig and reminiscing about the time she murdered her brother 3 years ago. Yeah, remember that? This
Yeah,
one
good
nurse
times.
sure does, because she's got a whole lot of exposition to give, which includes explaining how, on the night of H20O's events, a paramedic was attacked by a still-living Michael Myers, who then took his outfit and watched as Laurie drove off in a coroner's van with the wrong body inside. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the other half of that H20O kill. It wasn't Michael who was murdered, it was actually this random paramedic.
what?
He didn't say anything because Michael had crushed his voice box. It's a super disappointing retcon to me and the other fans, but it was actually planned all along, since Mustafa Akkad said he didn't want Michael killed definitively, the better to make more sequels. Kevin Williamson actually came up with this idea during the production of H20O, and they filmed the reveal
it's a
right
good
after wrapping
twist,
that
but
But Jamie Lee Curtis insisted that the shots not be included in H20O.
Why didn't the guys start moving
actually
earlier?
believe that she had killed Michael Myers for at least a few years.
Maybe he
Now
didn't
Laurie
wake up.
Strode is pretending to be catatonic for the hospital staff and stuffing a baby doll full of the pills she's supposed to be taking. Gotta be vigilant for Michael's inevitable return, which just so happens to be tonight. Mike enters the building and passes up some
How does he
vending
find
machines
her?
that probably have those dope-ass potato skins in them. And when a couple of security guards go to check out the disturbance, the first one, Franklin, is killed off screen after mistaking Michael for an inmate. His scream is heard by his coworker
he should
Willie,
be an
who
inmate.
opens a big clothes dryer to find Franklin's head. And what does Willie trip over right afterward?
A body.
Hey, it's Franklin.
That he didn't
Just,
see
you
the
know,
first
without
time?
a head. Michael repeats his H20O workout routine to get down behind Willie, who he then grabs by the back of his head and kills with a classic throat slit using his knife. Aw, damn. I was hoping Willie would get a more exciting kill. With the guards out of the way, Michael first-person walks down a hallway and echoes another H20O shot before first-person raging his way through the door to Laurie's room.
That's not how you use doors.
That door ain't shit. But Laurie is waiting for him with a lamp to the head and then takes off down the hallway, her douchey older brother in hot pursuit. They wind up on
But
the
also,
roof where
he was looking
Michael
out the
gets a
window.
surprise greeting
She
from
definitely,
his baby sis.
he knows
Apparently,
she saw
this
him.
idiot just walked straight into a trap that Laurie had somehow set using an industrial crane. Yeah, I'm sure an inmate could whip that up real fast. The trap leaves him hanging upside down over the edge of the building, so Laurie confronts him and asks him why he's such a shitty sibling. As she goes to cut the rope to send him down
It's
to
not
certain
gonna kill him.
death, Michael grabs at his mask, triggering some trauma in Laurie that comes to her in the form of a desaturated
because of
flashback.
that.
To ensure she's got the right victim this time, Laurie goes to remove Michael's
And
mask.
gets grabbed.
To be sure. But
Nope.
not too close. He grabs her right as the rope breaks, and the two of them swing down over
Both
the
of
edge
them?
the building. Michael
Oh.
stabs Laurie in the back,
Oh.
and yeah, man, this is actually the end of Laurie Strode in this timeline. She gives him a kiss and says she'll
What?
see him in hell
Why?
before her body falls down into the trees below.
But he's
Good
gonna
thing
be
this
fine.
movie
Take him
was
with you, at
bringing
least.
her back and pretending resurrection never happened, because this is not the way Laurie should be going.
Not
out.
that far
Michael
of a
plants the
drop.
knife on a very willing inmate wearing a clown mask who's obsessed with serial killers so much that he can recite Michael's backstory.
Michael Myers killed 3 high school
students October 31st, 1978. Also killed 3 nurses and a paramedic same night.
Man, people always be forgetting about that poor mechanic. It's where Michael got his threads, dude.
That is
Michael
true,
leaves
yeah.
the asylum and walks straight into a title card. Halloween Resurrection.
So far, this movie's not
At Haddonfield University,
terrible.
an upgrade from the junior college in part 6, I guess, director Rick Rosenthal cameos as Professor Mixter,
Nice.
who has the same name as that drunk doctor in Halloween 2, so that's fun, I guess. He's teaching
Okay.
Boogeyman 101 to a bunch of sleepy students and our final girl, Sarah, who, like many final girls before her, is SMRT and is able to correctly answer her teacher's questions, so you know she ain't gonna die later. While riding a moped through a crowded pedestrian walkway, Sarah is
That's not what
stopped
you're
by
supposed
her
to do.
friend Jen,
At least
who's
Haley.
got some good news for her. Looks like the two of them,
Actually,
and
this would be
her
peak Haley
fine
time.
friend Rudy, have been selected. For what, you may ask? Why, as a member of Dangertainment, of course, where they'll be on a reality show.
It's a great name.
It's like we're investigative reporters searching a crime scene.
Their investigation will be done at the old Myers house, as this random panty-sniffing weirdo exposits to them
Why are you
before
touching them?
randomly shrieking. What? Who the fuck even was that guy? Store brand Stu Macher? Jen wants to do this to get exposure for a hopeful career in broadcasting.
What just happened?
While Sarah is reluctantly doing it for a scholarship or something. It doesn't matter, it's dumb. Sarah messages her cyber friend Deckard to tell him all about it. But turns out Deckard's real name is actually Miles, and he's a freshman who's been posing as a grad student in his interactions with Sarah. His inclusion in this movie is one giant fucking question mark, and he's got some serious cyber delusions.
So what are they eating?
It's kind of like we're dating.
No, it's not.
What?
No, it's not. But you can imagine what it'd be like if we were. At the Dangertainment production meeting, the 6 cast members are briefed by the people in charge, Freddie and Nora, played by,
Busta
holy
Rhymes.
shit, can you believe it? Busta Rhymes
I'm
and
not
Tyra
very
Banks.
familiar with him at all.
Yeah.
Tyra Banks?
Thank you.
Why is that
Yeah,
familiar?
Yeah, come on, keep it going. A bunch of interviews introduce the side characters and their quirks, and it's sad that most of them are more interesting than Sarah, who we're supposed to care about for some reason. But at least she can scream.
Okay.
So that makes
what?
us to like her, but it's actually ironic because actress Bianca Kalick had to have all her screams dubbed in because of a quote inability to scream. I feel you, Bianca. I can't scream either. It comes out more like an excited yell.
I mean, that's true. Also, what was that video from?
Jackie Chan's kung fu skills. Sarah visits him and tries to get out of the whole thing, saying she doesn't even want to be famous.
What do you mean you don't want to be famous? That's the American dream.
No, that's not it.
Convinces her to stay
No.
without too much effort, and she leaves, which to me shows that this scene's only purpose was to set up Busta's kung fu bullshit later. The next day, Freddy shows everyone the cameras they'll be wearing, which are immediately used exactly as
wireless?
you'd expect. You know, I will hand it to this movie for getting ahead on this stuff. In 2002, not many people knew what live streaming was, so I'll reluctantly give the film some credit for being that forward-thinking.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
these cameras
from the
are
Myers
rough.
House garage, Norma is directing her crew member Charlie
you're
as
on
he
a
sets
4K
up
webcam
cameras
at Logitech
throughout the
Brio,
house's
4K.
interior. She gets distracted dancing to her espresso machine, so she doesn't notice when Michael shows up and grabs one of the cameras to use
I
his
used to have one of
tripod
those.
legs as a weapon against Charlie. What was
I don't
that
drink
spiky
espresso.
tripod made for? Filming soccer matches? In any case, Michael uses it to stab Charlie straight through the throat, killing him with a fair amount of gore that's all captured on the video feed being ignored by Norma thanks to her espresso con pana. That sucks, Charlie, and for a web-based reality show, no way you were getting paid union rate. The cast goes to the Myers house and gears up with all their cameras, while Freddy tells a bunch of reporters how groundbreaking his reality web series is. Yeah, too bad Big Brother was already a thing by now, dude. The kids all enter the Myers house, and our premise is afoot. The 6 of them are now expected to stay overnight here.
In the
while
Myers
looking for
house?
Clues to learn
This is
why
the actual Myers
exactly
house?
Michael Myers turned out the way he did. They find lots of things right off the bat. A big scary kitchen knife, a toddler's high chair with leather restraints on it, Michael Myers holding a bloody knife. Oh, wait, nope, they actually missed that one. Not the clue you want to miss, y'all. After the sun
that's
goes
gonna
down,
be a fatal
light
mistake.
A bunch of candles and explore the house further, including
All this
Judith's room
gear.
where she was stabbed to death. Careful there, Jen. You about to trigger some nasty old Mikey memories. Side plot Miles and his buddy Scott head to an upperclassman Halloween party dressed as Vincent Vega and Jules Winfield. Thankfully without any blackface involved. But Miles is such a nerd, he can't help but find the family's
What?
office and log on to the
we have to say
World
that?
Wide Web. Even though I don't remember him getting any parents' permission. I love webcam stuff. It's so unpolished and real. In no time at all, he's got Freeberg from Freddy vs. Jason and a whole bunch of other party people watching the stream with him. So that means all of them should have seen the next kill as it happened. The victim of that murder is Bill, whose only character trait is to be a big old perv like 100% of the time. As
And he's
looking
going
into
to
a
die.
mirror, he gets killed by Michael Myers, somehow crashing through it from behind and stabbing him a couple of times. His final fateful
And they see
stab
this.
is to the top of Bill's head, killing him for good. But
Oh,
here's
yep,
the
that'll do
thing.
it.
We never see Miles or the people at the party react to it at all. What did they see and why doesn't the movie show us? That's just bad storytelling. We do see Freddie and Norma.
What was the actual reason
Bill's
for
camera
that?
being down, but they didn't see the kill itself since they were too busy toasting.
They're not recording at the same time as
OBS to run
streaming?
properly. Annoying Psych Major Donna and
my
Curtis
face cam was
Armstrong
recorded on
impersonating
OBS.
Jim head to the basement where she pedantically corrects him on his use of the word continuously and calls him names that are sexy and esoteric. Sexoteric?
You're such a Lothario.
Of course, she's still down to see his Lothario face, so she goes to make out with him. But before they go any further, Jim's got to metaphorically fuck this floor with an escape room key they found that gives them access to a hatch. Anyone else hear Mama Cass playing down there? But instead of finding any buttons to push, Donna and Jim just find some creepy chains in the wall, and, surmising that there surely must not be any cameras down here, they remove the POV webcams from their heads and disrobe to get to some
pretty sure there's some microphones.
Not realizing that their webcams fell in a way to capture it all.
How did they not realize this?
Right as their 56K porn gets going, a wall breaks behind them and they get covered in a bunch of spoopy skeletons. Don't worry though, these old bones aren't authentic. They were planted there by Freddie and Norma. They did it for the views. And it doesn't take long for Jim to discover that they're getting had, since he sees a made in Taiwan stamp on one of the bones. And upstairs, Sarah, Jen, and Rudy are starting to catch on.
So they turned into a haunted house, but it's gonna turn real.
With a mask on it, some scribbled on coloring books, and Sid's baby doll from Toy Story, which is like in lots of different horror movies I'm noticing.
I mean, all of this is not right. It's too easy.
Yeah, you're right, Rudy. Busta Rhymes has got you all in check, and he's about to take it to the next level by dressing up like Michael Myers to scare everyone.
Was he like punked or something?
The scene where Busta finds real Michael stalking him and mistakes him for slain crew member Charlie.
Why the hell you dressed like me anyway? I'm playing Michael Myers. If them kids come around
shouldn't do that.
See us dressed up in the same shit, you're gonna ruin the whole effect.
Basically, Freddy is saying there's too much of us, it's dangerous. And unlike the mistaken identity scene in part 5, this one makes me laugh, probably because of how committed Busta Rhymes is to yelling at Michael Myers.
He's in charge.
I also love that it works in the end. And
Does he actually leave?
Start a new career in Hollywood. He's gonna be pissed when he finds out he has to start with PA work, though. After Jim leaves the basement in anger, Donna hears a noise and unwisely follows it through a sewer tunnel into an area that isn't
under the house.
Spooky. It's just regular.
Access this,
complete with newspaper clippings of Laurie Strode and actual dead rats that I guess Michael's been nomming on. The lights go out on Donna, and Michael Myers appears, and this time we see the live stream audience react, laughing since they don't think it's real. But it is, and Donna is killed when Michael corners her against an old wrought iron gate and impales her through the back on one of its, I don't know, gate spokes or whatever. I guess Dangertainment needs to change the name of this thing to Myers House Dead.
That would not be an instant death.
Instead of live stream. Although everyone else at the party thinks it was a Jimmy Kimmel-style prank, Miles believes it was legit. Haha, this dude still thinks he's relevant to this movie, idiot. Freddy, dressed as Michael Myers, comes out of the shadows and attacks Sarah. But after Jim comes out of nowhere and knocks him down, Freddy breaks kayfabe and tells them all to turn off the cameras, much to the dismay of all those party kids watching the stream. Freddy unmasks himself and says it was just a prank, bro, chill out, and that they can all get a cut of the cash money this web series is somehow making if they continue to play along. He remasks and runs off tee-heeing to himself.
So how did he get out of that situation? What? It was a live stream. This is not something you live stream.
Back after Jen finds Bill's body and starts screaming bloody murder.
She must be going for the first internet Emmy.
They're called the Streamies, dude. And the only thing Jen is earning right now is a rightful place on the kill count, since real Michael steps out and decapitates her with a single swing from his chef's knife. The head rolls down the stairs, alerting Sarah and the others that this is for real. Ain't no faking a beheading like that. I mean,
you could
in person. Obviously, you can fake it for a movie. We just saw that happen. The others they're
not. There's still a little bit of distance in angle.
And when Jim tries to ward him off using a tripod, Michael stops him and kills him. But not with the chef's knife. No siree, Bob.
What does he do with that?
He'll be going for a Part 4 style head crunch that he once used to kill fellow Lothario Brady. After Michael lifts Jim up off the ground, he just squeezes the life out of him.
Why do you prefer that?
Hands. But all I can think of right now is how none of this movie's characters are memorable in the least bit. Jim who? Although there are 2 victims left for Michael to choose from, he saves the last dance for Sarah and goes after Rudy instead, who leads him to the kitchen because that's his character's one trait. But after briefly fighting back with a rolling pin, some pocket spies, Rudy's order is up. Michael kills him by grabbing Rudy's knife-holding hand and stabbing him with them off screen. Then he lifts Rudy up off the ground and stabs him through the wall with them. For a final bit of structural integrity, he grabs another knife from the drawer and sticks that through Rudy as well. It's yet another wall decoration kill from Michael, and honestly, the lack of variety in his carnage is frustrating when you binge watch the series. Give me murder artist Mr. Voorhees Voorhees any day. Sarah pleads into a camera for help and then gets the idea to call her cyber side plot buddy Deckard, who is Miles, lest you forget. Yeah, it's your time to shine, dude. You can finally graduate from subplot to subpar plot. Through the power of the house's multicam setup, Miles is able to text directions to Sarah so she can avoid Michael Myers.
That's instant. There's no delay.
One player has an overhead view and they're directing the others who are first person. I'm thinking of Battlefield 2, for example, but also I'm old. With Miles' help, Sarah is able to get out onto the roof of the house, but Michael figures out where she went and headbutts the window like a dude just asking for a face full of glass. He slashes her on the leg.
Who headbutts a window?
Higher ground and into the attic.
I mean, I also high-fived the knife, so.
Finding Charlie's corpse up there and having to crawl over Bill's on her way down out of the attic. Before she can leave the house, though, she gets pulled aside by Freddy, who, oh yeah, is still alive, I guess. I mean, he's gotta be alive, because he's still gotta be in one of the most maligned scenes in the entire Halloween franchise. Michael finds them, and the two men get into a fight, which is fine at first, but then Freddy stares Michael down and summons his inner Jackie Chan.
And karate. Okay.
You didn't ask for any Kung Fu Buster Rhymes? Well, too bad, that's what you getting.
Trying to be the hero. Does Buster Rhymes actually do karate?
The fight ends with Freddy kicking Michael out of the window, which sends him crashing through a bunch of camera angles until he's left hanging from the second story. But then Sarah gets a text from Miles.
He's still alive.
Come as a surprise to anybody. Looks like Michael cut himself down from the cable and is now standing right behind you, Freddy.
Ow.
Oh, he takes one stab and is like, give me some more. But the second puts him down on the ground and takes him out. Sarah runs
how do these people move around a house so quietly?
In the garage, where some gasoline gets spilled, and she winds up slipping in a big puddle of blood. In another reference to director Rosenthal's Halloween 2. Turns out this blood belongs to Norma, who Sarah finds hanging from the ceiling. I'm not entirely sure what did her in.
They were in the garage?
One shot of her body. We need more coverage, girl. When Michael follows Sarah into the garage, she attacks him with a chainsaw and delivers some shitty vengeance dialogue.
Okay, you don't need the slash.
First she cuts him,
it's a chainsaw.
And then she cuts a whole bunch of wires hanging there, and the resulting sparks start a fire with the
gasoline.
gas on the ground that of course ends up being a big explosion that just engulfs the entire damn place in
this
flames.
is great, but fire doesn't kill him. He's gonna sit up.
His patented sit-up behind Sarah and is all ready to finally kill her once and for all when in busts us Freddy for another infamously bad moment.
He's still alive.
Motherfucker.
Side note, I swear I didn't remember that line when I said it in my trick-or-treat kill count last year. Trick-or-treat, motherfucker. I didn't plagiarize you, Mr. Rhymes.
Nice.
Please don't bust my ass. Freddy hits Michael with a shovel, twirls the handle around all fancy-schmancy, and punches him in the face a few times before Michael is done playing around and just throws him against the wall.
My
but
word.
Buster comes back with some
You're trying to tell me Michael is
and sends Michael stumbling
this strong,
into a
but
canopy of
he eats
electrocution.
rats?
With the serial killer all tied up, Buster takes the opportunity to grab our final girl and spit out one final quip.
Hey, Mikey! Happy fucking Halloween!
He takes off and leaves Michael there
I'm guessing
to die,
he's the
which
hero.
of course
It
means
doesn't
that
happen.
Michael ain't gonna die.
Yeah.
Sarah gets a text from Miles congratulating her on her final girl status, and she thanks him live on the news, allowing this movie to pretend his character was necessary and not just a way to pad a good 15 minutes onto the runtime. Freddy jumps into a news camera frame to give Michael a
But he was
puzzling
stabbed
eulogy.
like twice.
Michael Myers is a killer shark. Baggy ass overalls.
And the movie ends with a coroner scene where the very fucking expected plays out, with the coroner
Michael's
opening
still
up
alive.
the body bag and Michael opening up his eyes.
Because why else would they show it?
How many kills did Michael get on his first live
a
stream?
lot.
And more importantly,
He killed a lot of characters.
Send any super chats for him. Let's find out and get to the numbers.
He killed a lot of characters nobody cares about. Okay.
There were 10.5 kills in
A lot
Halloween
more.
Resurrection, the half coming from the paramedics, since we already counted half of him at the end of H20. The victims
Like,
included 6.5
yeah,
men coming to CBS
I guess
this
the
fall,
half.
and 4 women,
6.5.
giving us an almost even pie chart. With a runtime of 90 minutes, that gives us a kill on average every 8.57 minutes.
Pretty
I'll
good.
give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to
I don't even
Charlie.
know.
It was the most unique
With a
kill
tripod?
since it was done with a tripod, and the gore effects weren't bad either. Plus, you get so many angles of it. It's an editor's dream. Contrast that
true.
with the dull machete, which will
is-
go to Norma, who had a single shot showing the results of her off-screen
That's expected.
death. Sorry, Norma, you are not America's next top body. And that's it.
Next
Halloween
top body.
Resurrection came out in 2002 and was so poorly received, they just
Oh, was
scrapped the
that
whole
bad?
series and let Rob Zombie remake it from scratch. We'll look at his Hellbilly Halloween next week. But until
Yeah,
then,
I guess that'll be the next
news.
video. patrons to get a day early. Hope you're subscribed. Trying to get 100,000. Also be streaming Devil May Cry 5
Jason Peterson and Velvet Ruby.
today.
And that's the end of Michael Myers timeline 2. All we've got now are the 2 Rob Zombie movies ahead of us. And then that new one in theaters that I can't wait to come out next week. Remember though, I can't do it until it's out on Blu-ray. And that doesn't mean I promise to do it right when it comes out on Blu-ray. Looking at you, Fallen Kingdom. Thanks y'all, be good people.
I know exactly the feeling there, James. But I guess we'll do, Halloween 2007 remake and Halloween 2, which are the Rob Zombie ones. They had, and then one came out 6 years ago, which would put it at 2018. So we went 9 years without one. And then we'll go back and do, I believe, what is it, the Look-See? Yeah, we'll do the Look-See and the Sunny Family Cult as one video, and then we'll do Suspiria or something like that. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that one before. But yeah, this was, honestly, I kind of liked H20. I guess it's H20 because it's not 2-0, it's H20. That was actually a really good one. Resurrection was certainly interesting. It's understandable why it was received so poorly. A 4-year gap between these movies is kind of interesting, to say the least. I don't know why they decided to change things. I don't know why. I guess they just try to innovate, but at the same time they don't. I don't know. But I hope you're subscribed. Next week will be, I guess, the wrap-up for the Halloween, and out of these 10 videos, and like I said, I'll be live streaming today, playing some Devil May Cry 5. It's going to be awesome. I'm loving the game so far, and I hope that you're subscribed, as we are, oh, dude, I think it's like, if from today, at the day of recording, I think it's like 29 subscribers a day for like every day for like the next 3 weeks, and we'll get it like on New Year's Eve. So if you're not already subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it. Read all your comments, leave them down below. But until next video, take care and cue the music.